Odin, the one-eyed god, reigned from the top of his throne in Asgard, the kingdom of the Aesir gods. His court was full of other deities that gave even greater prestige to Odin's kingdom. But there was another kingdom that also had prestige. This kingdom was known as Vanaheim, the land of the Vanir gods. They competed with the Asgardians for the adoration of mortals. Both kingdoms were coexistent, but the tension between them was constant. The gods of Asgard descended from Vili, Ve, and Odin, who in their early days defeated the giant Ymir. The Vanir had an unknown origin. Besides Odin, Thor and Loki were the most prominent deities in Asgard, whereas in Vanaheim, Frey, Freya, and Njord stood out. While Asgardians were gods linked to power and war, Vanir were gods of fertility. There was a powerful sorceress, Gullveig, known for her covetousness and love of gold. The gods of Asgard found her insufferable, so they triple burned the witch, but she always came back. The sorceress was an ally of the Vanir gods, who felt flouted by the Asgardians' way of treating her underling. The precarious peace that existed between the Vanir and Aesir fell to shreds, and the first great war between the gods erupted. Odin tossed his powerful spear against the Vanir, a sign that this was not simply a dispute, but a struggle that could decide the world's fate. No other war would be so important. Upon the arrival of the Ragnarok, the Vanir gods would even march against Asgard and even demolish part of the powerful wall raised by the giant builder. The war between the gods made the world shudder. Both sides displayed their worth, fighting with great courage. Both sides could not prevail, and the devastation the war brought preoccupied both sides. The war could endure for millennia if one side were to win. It would reign only over the ashes, as nothing would remain after such a confrontation. For this reason, the authorities on both sides decided to secure peace between the two peoples. In order to ensure that both people had goodwill, they exchanged hostages. The gods of Asgard, Mimir and Honir, would live in Vanaheim, while Frey, Freya, and Njord would now live in Asgard. The two gods who came to live in Vanaheim were handed over as great sages, but in fact, only Mimir was endowed with great sagaciousness. Honir feigned to be wise, but only repeated what Mimir whispered in his ear. The Vanir recognized that when Honir was inquired about some subject and Mimir was not nearby, he would always answer, "Let the others decide." Understanding that they had been deceived, and that Mimir was an abettor of such a plot, they cut off his head and returned it to Odin. The father of all did not want to lose Mimir's wisdom, would and used his powers to bring his head back to life. Then Mimir returned, and Odin could now inquire the wise man's head when he needed his precious advice. A new peace pact was established between the Vanir and Aesir, and thereby the two peoples began to live in harmony. The Vanir gods were assimilated into the Nordic pantheon next to the Aesir. Such gods as Frey and Freya came to be equally admired as other great Aesir gods.